Adan Schneider. Hi, I'm Adam Schneider, the 183rd Ohio Infantry, Company C. I was born in the Hessian district of Prussia in the early 1820s, and most of my life I'd lived under German oppression. By 1849, I was 26 years old. I'd married my wife, Catherine. And about 2 months after our marriage, I was involved in an assassination attempt on the Prince of Prussia. The prince was traveling through my hometown, and his carriage was passing through, and a bullet had entered the carriage and hit the driver. The bullet was matched to a rifle that I owned, so I was accused of the assassination attempt and held in prison for more than a year. Eventually I was released, but I was exiled from Germany. I immediately moved to the United States. I settled in a little community called Over the Rhine in Cincinnati, Ohio, and there I started a cabinet making business. I was a carpenter. I raised my family, had 2 daughters. By the outbreak of the Civil War, I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to join the Army. I had a family to take care of. But when it was in its 3rd year, and with the impending draft, I decided to enlist. I signed up with one of my good friends, a fellow German named Michael Conrad. Signed up on September 21st, 1864. I was in the Army by October 17th in the 183rd Ohio. By November 28th, I found myself coming off a rail car in Columbia, Tennessee, and joining the ranks of the Army of the Ohio. We were immediately marched north through Middle Tennessee. The next evening, on the 29th, we had met resistance from rebel troops. This is the first action I had seen in the war. The next day, on November 30th, we were arriving in Franklin about noon. We were ordered to throw up earthworks west of the Carter House in anticipation of the arrival of the Confederate Army. By 4 p.m. that day, they had arrived, coming up the Columbia Turnpike, and attacked our well-entrenched positions. Our regiment was brought up in support of the main line. We were involved in some very fierce hand-to-hand combat, and this is where I was captured, along with my friend Michael. I was forced to stay in Franklin the next day, burying ours and their dead, and not long after, we were marched 150 miles west into Mississippi. Eventually, I'd find myself in Alabama in a prison camp called Cahaba. We lived under very horrid conditions, and I remained there for several months. Eventually, I was released in late March 1865, and by April 4th, I found myself a paroled prisoner in Vicksburg, Mississippi. I was finally free. Then I was loaded onto a steamship called the Sultana on the Mississippi River. This is the boat that would take me home, and then I fell asleep. By about 2 in the morning on April 27th, I was awoken by an explosion. 3 boilers on the ship had exploded, destroying half the vessel. I was on the other half with my friend Michael Conrad, and it was completely engulfed in flames. We found ourselves standing on the side of the ship, looking into the Mississippi River, getting ready to jump. And we told each other, "I'll see you back in Cincinnati." We took the leap, and Michael made it back to Cincinnati. I didn't. Michael would have to inform my wife, Catherine, that I was never coming home. I am one of 10,000 casualties at the Battle of Franklin.